El hecho de que le conectes un golpe duro a Andy Ruiz no significa que estés destinado a ganar la pelea. El espíritu de combate de un peleador verdaderamente de élite es mucho más difícil de mantener abajo. Y en el caso del enfrentamiento de Chris Arreola con Ruiz, eso fue exactamente lo que vimos desarrollarse. Los críticos pensaban que sus mejores días habían quedado atrás, que ya era demasiado débil para rendir al más alto nivel. Pero cuando un peso completo verdaderamente peligroso está acorralado, es cuando más letal está. Y Ruiz todavía tenía algo que demostrarle al mundo. Recuerden que si quieren apoyar al canal, no olviden usar la función de hype. Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola. Cuando dos pesos completos de élite chocan, siempre hay algo especial en ello. ¿Estaba Ruiz más allá de su mejor momento? ¿O podría demostrarle al mundo que aún tenía algo que ofrecer en este concurrido panorama por los títulos de la división? Arreola era exactamente el tipo de peleador capaz de dar la sorpresa en esta situación. En otras palabras, Ruiz tendría que ser cuidadoso. Claro, el destructor era un ex campeón. Pero ese tipo de credencial no sería suficiente para ayudarlo dentro del ring. El poder de pegada de Ruiz ya era material de leyenda. La única pregunta ahora era si el tiempo había mellado lo suficiente sus atributos como para que Arreola pudiera aprovecharse. Si Ruiz no estaba en forma, pronto veríamos exactamente cuánto peligro corría. Arreola no era un peleador débil y era más que capaz de castigar a su oponente. Ruiz sería puesto a prueba aquí. Pero el espíritu de combate de un campeón no se puede derrotar fácilmente. Ruiz tendría que cavar profundo, pero cuando llegara el momento decisivo, no se le iba a negar. Round 1. Aprenderíamos mucho sobre Ruiz a partir de su actuación en el primer round.
Follow my instructions, protect yourself at all times. Fight hard, fight clean. Good luck, fellas.
I was tired of my own lack of discipline. I asked God for another chance. Said he woke up the next day a new man, and we're underway. See if he can make good on that. Chris Arreola, Andy Ruiz, underway here in the main event. We expect a collision, Lennox and Sean, here in the very first round, and we'll see how quick those hands are for Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Arreola is doing the smart thing. He's staying far, he's taking time, and moving around, giving himself a little bit more room. That's what he's supposed to do.
You know, Sean, it's funny because, you know, Chris Arreola likes to march straight to his man, but Ruiz fights very well and in protecting what's 3 inches in front of him.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Joe having an effect. What effect Joe would have on Chris. You see right now he's being smart by using the whole entire ring, stepping around and working the jab. He'll work his way up to using all of those punches we saw in that record-setting fight that he had, just not yet.
Right hand missed from Arreola as he tried it, went over the top on Ruiz. Ruiz, on his part, had said that, look, I know I'm not just going to march in. Good right hand by Arreola, lands to the belly. Ruiz able to throw a combination. He said he's not going to just walk in. I'm going to be moving my head. I'm going to be fast with my hands. Because I'm going to be defensively responsible as I come inside.
I think Andy's much more agile than a lot of people give him credit for. You see right there, he's able to move his head and also take one step back and make Chris miss.
Well, that's what's so surprising, Sean, right? With Anthony Joshua is that Joshua stepped to him and suddenly boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Like a quick combination from Ruiz.
Ruiz has a lot of natural ability, and we'll see it tonight.
Missing those shots, Arreola able to get out of trouble early on.
I think that's the defense that we haven't seen in the past from him.
Yeah, let's not forget
Arreola?
No, Ruiz.
Ruiz, yeah.
Yeah, Ruiz is, you know, he hasn't been in the ring for a long time, so this is like his first round for a few months.
That's a good point. December 7th, 2019, the last time in the ring, and again, he was terribly out of shape. And even in that fight, Lennox, he was dangerous. Anthony Joshua never stayed in the pocket.
No.
He boxed, he jabbed, he got out of there.
I mean, he boxed all the way till the 12th round. You know, most trainers would say, well, step it up. This guy hasn't touched you. You know, try and knock him out. But Anthony Joshua was just trying to get that win.
Wow, hard, fast right hand from Ruiz. You see how quick he is. Able to move his head out of danger from Arreola. Good head work there and head movement from Andy Ruiz as he probes again with the jab to the body. It's funny how our view has changed of Ruiz, hasn't it? Look at this combination. After that performance against Joshua at Madison Square Garden, now we expect big things out of Ruiz.
Yeah, and we saw Anthony Joshua use the ring, box, and keep Andy on the outside. So you gotta imagine that that's a page that Joe is taking from the book of Anthony Joshua in his camp. We see it in the first round.
Good combination there by Ruiz. Wow, he got dropped.
Round 2. En el segundo round, algo verdaderamente inesperado estaba a punto de ocurrir.
Oh, it was a situation where, you know, Ruiz had his left hand down.
I tell you what, he got knocked down once before by Anthony Joshua, came roaring back. He'll have to answer soon. He got caught with a short shot.
Hey,
you can see the mark on his face.
And we can say we've been here before, but he hasn't been here before with Chris Arreola, a different animal in the ring right now.
Well, Chris should have jumped on him right there, because once you get a guy hurt like that, you got to jump on him, but it may be a bit too easy. But I always call those shots the wake-up shots when you get hit, because he hasn't been hit, hasn't been in the ring for almost a year, so this is his first wake-up shot.
This could be a real opportunity for Chris Arreola, though. Again, Ruiz is shown to be very resilient, but if you have Ruiz hurt, possibly slightly dazed, a little confused, right? Hey.
Well, the fact that Chris Arreola knows he can hurt him now, I would step to him a little bit. I wouldn't be,
And trade again. Ruiz got caught with a hard shot. Now Arreola is pounding right hands on him. Able to move Ruiz back again. Andy Ruiz is going to have to be a...
Round 3. La presión ahora recaía sobre Ruiz para devolver el fuego. Porque si no podía, Arreola iba a tener un día de campo.
Hurt again. A counter left hook from Arreola. Arreola drives Ruiz back again, that time with the right hand. They're trading and Arreola's getting... Oh! Ruiz is hurt again.
And he's good.
They're letting it fly now.
With his right.
Let's go back, guys. That was some wild exchanges in that round.
Oh, Chris Arreola coming out with a good left hook there.
And when he sees it, he's releasing an unbelievable right hand right now.
And Ruiz is coming in too straight. He needs to be moving his upper body a little bit more.
Agreed.
Ruiz trying there with the jab to the body, able to land, but he's a little more tentative now because when they have both let it fly, Chris Arreola has gotten the better of it. Good hook by Ruiz. But this is a different Andy Ruiz. Look, he is stalking right now, and he was able to stalk against Joshua in that loss because Joshua was dancing. But in the first fight, remember, he was counterpunching against Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, because Anthony Joshua was doing most offense. He was throwing the punches.
I think we all just thought it was going to be on the other side.
Yeah, well, that's not what we expected.
No.
Besides that, yeah. Now he drives Arreola back. At any moment, Ruiz can pop you and hurt you. His hands are that fast. Sean, you didn't think you'd see Ruiz on the deck, did you?
Listen,
No.
I didn't know what I was going to see, man. That's why I didn't make a prediction. but I did know that we were going to get exactly what we're getting.
Tell you, Arreola coming in at 228 really showed a lot of preparation and fortitude. There's no question. Giving himself the best possible chance to win this fight. Uppercut there by Ruiz, and able to land with the right hand. Arreola landed with his own right hand.
Round 4. En el cuarto round, Ruiz pareció encontrar algo dentro de sí mismo, como si finalmente se hubiera despertado.
Corner of Chris Arreola.
And you see in the last fight, Chris Arreola throwing 94 punches per round against Adam Kovnatsky. Again, a very different style matchup. Tonight it's way down at 40, but you see power shots are landing from Arreola. That right hand was able to chop right down on Andy Ruiz.
He didn't get the decision throwing 94 punches, but he might possibly get a decision throwing 40 punches that matter.
Let me tell you, Chris Arreola right now is sticking to the game plan. The game plan is to stay on the outside and throw that jab and catch Ruiz coming in.
And I think I see an adjustment from Andy's corner going to the body much more than he was in the three previous rounds.
Halfway through here in round number 4. Let's go to Larry Hazard. Larry, how do you have it scored?
Right now, I got it even, guys, 28-28. You know, these guys are going back and forth. I think Joe Goosen is telling Arreola to just take his time, keep his hands up, and bide his time to try to land that shot. But Andy, I agree with Sean that he has to come in, he can be a little bit more aggressive and let his hands go a little bit more. And I think that you know, he'll be able to pull this out a little bit. Right now, I got him even, guys.
Larry, thank you so much. You saw that left hook landing on the top of the head on Arreola. That's a nice sharp right hand as well. That was the hook that landed on the top of Anthony Joshua's head, and Joshua was never quite the same that night in New York City. Final 15 seconds of round number 4. Ruiz has been wobbled multiple times in this fight. He's been down once. Tries the exchange, gets out of the way of the hook, comes back and firing with a right hand and a hook. Arreola standing his ground.
Round 5. Este no era de ninguna manera un desafío fácil y Arreola seguía siendo una amenaza. Pero Ruiz comenzaba a parecer un poco más su antiguo yo.
When you come in that much lighter, it's indicative of your preparation.
Absolutely. Oh, I think Andy got hurt there again.
Big exchange once again.
In terms of the way he's jabbing and moving around. And then you also see the game plan of him trying to punch with Andy and being able to catch Andy when he's coming in.
Good body work there by Ruiz, able to land 2 shots, scoring shots. Again, Larry Hazard has it even, so even with a knockdown and a 10-8 round, Larry at the very least, again, he's not scoring the fight officially, but he's got it even. You would think the judges could have the same.
I don't think the judges have the same. We never know what the judges are going to do sometimes, but I think this.
Oh!
Big hook there.
Good defense.
Toughing shot. Yeah, I think he caught most of that, Lennox.
Yeah.
Arreola tried to block that, maybe block it with his glove. But that is a dangerous shot. Good jab to the body from Andy Ruiz.
Chris Arreola keeping his hands up nice and high, and he's thinking about defense. I haven't seen him get any good shots yet, or receive any good shots yet.
Final 20 seconds. Crowd here in Carson, California, chanting for Andy Ruiz. I tell you, Andy Ruiz fights are always an adventure. You are entertained. And Chris Arreola is not dead yet. 3-punch combination by Ruiz. Caught him with that hook. Arreola back, slightly shaken, not too.
Round 6. En el sexto, comenzamos a ver a Ruiz ponerse un poco más cómodo con su juego, pareciéndose cada vez más al destructor de antaño.
You know, if you watch, Joseph Parker won that fight by staying tall and staying away. And so did Anthony Joshua in the rematch. He boxed like Ali. Wanted to stay away the whole night. And that here's Arreola staying in the pocket at distance, but close enough to do damage.
Here's a good thought. Andy Ruiz, you get off and then you play defense and let Chris come at you, and then you're able to use those fast hands. We may see a little turn right here in terms of the complexion of the fight.
Sean, as you're saying that, it looks like he's letting Arreola lead a little bit.
Exactly.
Right.
There you go.
Counter. He's much better countering.
Exactly.
Catching him with a hook on the way in. Ruiz, he's very fast with those hands, but he doesn't seem to be at his best when he's trying to press the action.
But Ruiz is only coming in and he's only throwing one combination and then he's stopping. He's got to throw one combination, then another combination, another combination.
That's a good 3-punch combination right there, Lennox, and he comes back, but not immediately, tries with the body shot. But now slowly but surely, Andy Ruiz is starting to mount a points lead.
We call it getting in and getting out, and that's what Andy has to do. He's got to get in and get out, just like he's doing right now. Much better round and much better rhythm from him in this round, but I think it's a matter of him being second, not being first, and not walking at Chris the way he's been the first half of this fight.
Another hard combination punctuated with the hook. But Sean Porter, I think you hit it dead on, where it's a subtle change, but allowing Arreola to press, throw first, and answer.
Come on, man, we see it right now. And he's stepping around.
Good body shot there. Arreola pressing forward, still dangerous.
Well, Arreola's got a lot more confidence coming into this fight. I mean, into this round as well. So he's taking a couple feet forward. He's moving forward to get those shots in.
He should be confident.
Yeah.
When they've exchanged, Arreola's gotten the better of it. It's just that he could be losing on points now as Ruiz is outlanding him and starting to dictate this pace and punish him back. Good hard jab there as we now start to see a little bit of blood on the bridge of the nose of Chris Arreola.
I think I see a little bit of a Canelo overhand right coming from Andy too. You see him dip down just a little bit and then he delivers the overhand right. That right there, right there.
Round 7, pudimos ver el jab incorporándose cada vez más. Un arma clave en el arsenal de Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz starting to let Arreola come to him has had a bit more success.
I like the jab coming from Andy right now too. He's walking forward, but what's he doing now, Lennox? He's walking forward using the jab. He wasn't doing that in the first few rounds.
No, it wasn't. And you know, he'll have a lot more success if he doubles that up. Doubles that up and comes with that combination after a double jab.
And the punch differential has been within 4 punches in each of the last 4 rounds. So it is relatively close. And even though I thought that was a very good round for Andy Ruiz, you know, again, judges are scoring these fights. And the punches landed at the very least are close. Ruiz with the advantage on the whole, as you see in the bottom left part of the screen. There's the punches landed with Ruiz getting the better of it. But again, 8-6, 9-6, 10-6, that's not much of a margin. Arreola 16-15, not a margin either. Razor close. But again, they're not just tapping each other, they're throwing bombs.
Yes.
So it's a matter of what hits you and where, and how hard does it hurt you.
Even that jab right there. His back is to me, and it looked like that jab almost took his head off.
That's a stiff jab, too, from Ruiz, straight up the middle on Arreola's oft broken nose. Combination, went to the body with the right hand and finished with the hook. Arreola able to reach him with that right hand. Ruiz in a bit of danger, and you see Larry Hazard has the last 4 rounds all for Andy Ruiz. So that 10-8 round was the only round that he gave to Chris Arreola.
I respect my elders,
Well, what, you think another round maybe swings to Arreola?
Yeah, I have Arreola winning this fight.
Really?
I think so.
All right, stop.
Lennox, what do you think?
I think it's a close fight, and Arreola is definitely doing well. I mean, I don't agree with the scoring that we just seen. I thought he won a lot more rounds than that.
Well, I would say, like, Arreola's done more damage. Another good 3-punch combination from Andy Ruiz. But, again, a judge is scoring it round by round, handing it in, and that's it. And right now, Ruiz, he eats that one, but he is able to land with regularity. Arreola fires back a hook, trying to answer and drive Ruiz back. That's a scoring shot from Ruiz. Good jab to the body. Final 10 seconds.
Round 8. En el round 8, la caída comenzaba a sentirse como un recuerdo lejano. Ruiz había vuelto por completo a ser el mismo.
Heidi Androl here in just a moment as we open up round 8. 4 more rounds by then. Instead of 3 rounds, I'm thinking that's 4, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5. Not 3. Definitely not 3. Good hook there by Ruiz. Arreola's very sturdy. He's eating these shots.
Yeah, but he needs to hit. He needs to throw some. He needs to throw some body punches as well, not just be a headhunter right now.
Let's go to Heidi Androl. Heidi.
Joe, what did you say to Chris going into this round?
Well, I told him, I said, look, Andy gave up some ground on us last round, and when he gives you that ground, we got to take it and see what happens. We got to give him a little inside work as well. We've been boxing nice, but you know, Andy got hip to our right hands, and you know, he kind of has gone on the defense a little bit, boxing himself. So I'm telling Chris, use the rhythm, get some head movement up and down with your style, and try to get on the inside and get something done in close.
What was your strategy? Is it different?
No, it's kind of what I knew. We'd box at the beginning and close the gap at the second half of the fight. We're in the 8th round right now, right? 8? Yeah, I think so.
Very good. Thank you, Joe. Brian, back to you.
Heidi, thank you. Tell you what, in that last round, the 7th round, Ruiz out landing Arreola by 13 punches. Again, that's by CompuBox, so it gives you a good indication of who's landing, and Ruiz is starting to get the better of it. And now, what happened with Arreola with his arm?
Yeah, work up and down.
Arreola is throwing that jab. Lennox, I wanted to see, was he throwing the jab? Did he hurt that left shoulder? I don't know what exactly happened. That was an odd move.
Which insinuated that something was wrong with the shoulder, but now he's using it.
They just tried a hook there too, Sean, but I don't know. It's not
maybe
like,
it was a stinger or something.
Maybe, but it's not really a piston-like jab right now. We're not sure.
Round 9. Estaba claro que Arreola merecía estar ahí, pero sus posibilidades de ganar se desplomaban.
But if it happens in the flow, as we see Ruiz open up round 9, popping out a double jab. If it happens, you know, it happens, and certainly it just happened in the flow of the punches there. Let's go back to Larry Hazard and get his scorecard. Larry, how do you have it?
Hey guys, after round 8, I got Ruiz ahead, 77-74. Arreola is giving a good account of himself, but Ruiz is winning the fight.
You know, he's just much too strong. He got the better of those exchanges in round 2 and 3. And now that Ruiz is a little more patient, it's coming to him much, much easier.
I think even now, I think that Chris might be a little too patient.
Stop,
Whereas
stop.
before, early in the fight, I thought he had the right pace. And I think now he's got to pick it up.
And round 9, You wonder if Chris Arreola, he is 40 years old, can keep his engine running.
Listen, this is championship rounds. He's got to suck it up.
Well, you can want to all you want, Lennox, right? But that guy is 40. Another exchange there by Ruiz. Ruiz again coming in outstanding condition. 256 pounds. Even lighter than he was, 12 pounds lighter than he was when he won the title from Anthony Joshua in Madison Square Garden. And that's going to serve him well here in these last couple of rounds.
I got a feeling Andy's trying to put Chris to sleep with the jab to the body, and then he's going to bring an overhand right over the top.
Stop, my break. Step out of it.
Well, Arreola has been beaten down in his career, but it's rare to see him just starched. Even Deontay Wilder wasn't able to do that to him. He got stopped, but he wasn't dropped. So he is a rugged man. There's no question.
Yeah, I think if anything, Andy, he expected to win this fight, but he knew it would be a tough fight and a long night.
He got the early wake-up call, that's for sure.
I agree.
Chris Arreola pushed him to the ropes, and Andy just hugged him up and turned him around. And this is what Chris Arreola has to do. He has to put the pressure on a little bit. Yeah.
Hard body shot there by Arreola.
Round 10. La confianza de Ruiz no hacía más que crecer a medida que avanzaban estos rounds.
Now, in the second and struggling through the third, he turned it around, but he turned it around with his mentality.
That was a big shot. Big hook by Ruiz. No question, Sean. He had to wonder, hey, what's going on here? Who's this guy in front of me? Yeah. This is Chris Arreola beating me up.
Stop, my break.
Yeah, but Arreola shook that shoulder again, so he must have heard it again.
Yeah, not quite the same. The jab doesn't look quite as sharp. You see, it's kind of pawing out there. It's not badly injured, but it's not quite the same, Lennox.
And what Ruiz is doing, he's basically punching to the body, and then he's trying to punch one over the top or straight in the middle.
And his hook comes right off that right hand, Lennox.
Watch the heads.
Yes. It is effortless. Come bang right over the top as the right hand is still being thrown.
If I'm Joe, I tell Chris, stay with me. Stay in this fight. Stay focused. Don't revert back to your old self, just eating punches and trying to deliver your own. Stay responsibly defensively and keep trying to work that jab and those 1-2s and land another hard shot again.
That was another good right hand by Ruiz to the body. Now, Sean, I agree with you. You're right. If he just marches toward Ruiz, he gets chopped up.
Now's the time. Championship rounds. Refocus. This is a new fight.
Round number 10, a strafing right hand to the body by Ruiz. Wow, he is landing that with regularity.
Hey, Lennox, that's what people don't know about the championship rounds. You tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong, but it's almost like the fight restarts.
Oh, yeah. No, you know it's down to the crunch. It's down to the last round, and you need every round. And it comes down to the corner as well, telling you this.
Yeah.
Ruiz stopped him there with a right hand.
Stop.
Take a look at the punches landed. You see a wide discrepancy there starting in round 7, round 8, round 9. This one's much closer, but there's 3 rounds in a row where Ruiz was able to outland Arreola by a fairly significant margin. You see how fast those hands are.
And powerful.
Yeah. Another hard jab to the body. Arreola has kept up his pace, though, and has kept his engine running.
Yeah. He's coming forward now. He has to come forward. But he's got to come forward jabbing like Joe said, double jabbing.
Well, I wonder what they do then, Lennox and Sean, like what Joe could tell him, knowing that, hey, we're probably losing rounds. Like, hey, we're in the fight, you heard him.
Round 1. En los rounds del campeonato, estos dos se aseguraron de darles a los aficionados lo que valía su dinero.
Combination in boxing after the 1-2 is the 1-2-3, and Andy Ruiz has perfected that combination.
Yeah, he has. And you imagine how many times he's thrown that to perfect it?
Listen, Lennox, I looked over at you. I said, yo, the 1-2-3 is his favorite combination. And you looked at me and gave me that look like, yeah, that combination might have given me some problems.
Yeah.
Uppercut there from Ruiz. That's different after the right hand. You see a little swelling on the left eye of Andy Ruiz. He has taken some good shots in this fight. Chris Arreola putting Ruiz down in round 2 and also hurt him toward the end of round 2.
Oh!
Big hook, and he shakes the arm again. Arreola's hurt, says, I'm all right, I can continue. But that shoulder is bothering him.
But use that jab and try to find something.
Yeah, that shoulder is hurt. You see the combination, beautiful.
Round 12. La desesperación de Arreola era demasiado evidente en el round 12. Y en realidad, estaba librando una batalla perdida.
That's a body shot, right hand, that landed on Areola. He has eaten a lot of those shots. Another body shot from Andy Ruiz.
This is why we came here tonight. This is why we're on pay-per-view.
Final 10 seconds. Well, that's a hell of a fight.
Hell of a fight. Great fight.
All three in favor of the winner of the WBA Heavyweight World Title Eliminator, Andy the Destroyer Ruiz.
Al final, Ruiz fue quien tenía más en el tanque, quien tenía una marcha extra a la que recurrir. Areola fue una prueba seria, pero la experiencia de Ruiz a nivel de campeonato fue suficiente para sacarlo adelante al final. Incluso si lastimas a un oponente de clase mundial, no hay garantías de que puedas cerrar el espectáculo. Y al final, la caída no fue suficiente para que Areola se adueñara de la victoria. No fue el tipo de victoria que convencería al mundo de que podía vencer a Usyk, pero fue un paso en la dirección correcta. Y para Ruiz, en este punto de su carrera, eso fue algo muy positivo. ¿Pero qué piensan de la carrera de Andy Ruiz Jr.? ¿Y creen que aún tiene algo que dar en el deporte? Déjenos saber sus pensamientos, opiniones y comentarios candentes en la sección de abajo.